Ruben Amorim, is he on the hot seat? Picture's worth 1,000 words. There's a moment against Tottenham where he's literally looking at his shoes. He didn't even give us a 1,000-yard stare. The manager looks cooked. His tactics are being questioned. Everybody's piling on. Is this the low, or are we headed lower?
I like to think this is the low, but I'm an optimist by trade, so it could get lower. Like you said, you were potentially worried about the actual prospect of getting relegated. I don't think it'll get that bad. I think we have that gap. But Ruben Amorim, I think he's a friend of the fire squad at the end of the day. Fans are pissed, and fans are pissed at the old owners. They're pissed at Ineos, and he's the front man at the moment because he's the manager. So the manager is going to get the most of the flack, especially when the team isn't playing well. Team isn't playing well. Players aren't playing well. They're not responding. Like we didn't get a new manager bounce like you sometimes see, partly because this new system demands a lot of these players, more than these players are capable of stepping up to. So at this point, I think it's all about surviving this season. Even the players that were starting to get a moment, starting to look good under this manager, continuing to look good. Ahmad, Martinez, both of them going down for the season is a real backbreaker given we have both cups to go after. So I think he needs to survive because he looks like it's killing him, this job. This job is eating him alive, even though I know he's a strong man. But I think we just need to survive this moment. This moment feels like a dark, dark time, and we need to just kind of keep pushing through. But Ruben is wearing it all on the sleeve, sir. And it feels like he's wearing it for the rest of us. He's wearing it for the fans because he's shouldering a lot as Manchester United manager in this moment, coming in the way he did.
I agree with you, but to counter your argument about just being blindly optimistic, he has come in his 14 games in the league. He's lost 8 of them, drawn 2, and won 4 in the league. Those wins being an unconvincing performance against Southampton. We did beat City in the Derby 2-1, but that was a bad City. The one that goes against the grain was that big 4-0 against Everton, but they were in sort of a relegation scrap. Now they have a new manager turning it around. I think David Moyes is a big contrast. A manager, you sack him, you expect the team to get better. Ruben Amorim, we sacked Erik ten Hag. He has implemented this new 3-4-3. This team has gotten worse. Like we have worse points per game, worse XG goal differential. That is the counter to, hey, everything's going to work out. Maybe he needs to be more flexible. Maybe he needs to play a different system until he can get the players in to play this way. I think he's kind of riding the team down, not to mention the worst Manchester United team in history quote. He's laying it on thick, right? So when you lay it on thick, it's going to be one of two things. You're going to find some backbone in this team, or they're going to lay down and die. And this team looks to be laying down and dying. And so when the manager is looking like that on the bench, I think it's actually a bad signal to all fans saying, hey, you know what? Like, looks like the players are letting him down. Looks like the system isn't working, and things are going to get worse from here.
It's a very prospect. It's a real prospect that things can get worse even before they get better, if they don't get better at all. But I think at this point, Manchester United's made their bed. We're not in a position where we need to go Big Sam, and go sack and then another sack. You can't be doing that in the same season, even as a Manchester United manager or front office. So right now, Ruben Amorim, it's not working, but we have to get behind the manager because that's what we signed up for. So it's like, I think we just keep trying because we've seen glimpses of good football, but this team can't hold it up for 90 minutes. They can't do it back to back. And at this point,
15th.
You made your
15th.
bed.
We're fucking
You made
15th.
your bed, sir.
8
You made
losses,
your bed. You're not going to get
losses?
relegated. You keep playing the way you're trying to
Not
play.
gonna
You're
get
trying to get
relegated.
Frisky to Cup. What are you going to do? Fire him? Fire him and bring in somebody else?
I'm telling you, this is bad. We're
bad.
From bad.
We are bad, yes.
Bad to worse. Bad to worse. We went from bad under Erik ten Hag, winning games we shouldn't win, to losing every game. This is bad. This is very, very bad. And so my whole point is, I like Ruben Amorim. Do I think with the right squad that he can play and challenged for top 4 in the Premier League? Yes. Do I think his style is going to win the Premier League? To be determined. I really liked watching his Sporting, but it looks to me like he needs £1 billion and a complete new roster to be able to play that way. I think it's very clear. So him playing 3-4-3 with this lot of bluffers is failing, and I feel like something's got to give, but he's made his bed because he said he wouldn't change it. And that's like a little crazy if you think about it, because every manager changes it at a certain point when it's not working. I remember Ole went to 3 at the back at a certain point, trying to figure something out, trying to change something. And Amram's just going to be like, hey, we're going down with the ship. I get it. It's honorable. But is it a little crazy not to just say, hey, let's just go with a back 4 to see if we can get a result here or there? I mean, we're not that clear of the bottom where I'm that confident. If we're maybe 8th place and he wants to play this way and it doesn't matter and we're getting some results here or there, we're seeing pockets, our progression, I could go with it a little more. But this is like we are sinking like a stone to the bottom of the table. It's concerning when you see him look like that on the bench.
No doubt. I mean, the fact that he has dropped his head the way he has in some of these games, I agree with. But to him, if you think about Ruben Amorim, put yourself in his position, what does he have to lose? Like, he doesn't care. He's come in. He's come in as the highest flying manager in the game, young manager, and these players basically like nowhere able to play the level of football he needs necessary in order to take it against even like lower opposition side in the Premier League. So everything's falling apart, but he's going to stick with his guns because he's a 40-year-old coach and he's like not worried because at the end of the day, it's like he believes in what he believes in. United either going to get behind it or they're going to throw him out and someone else is going to pick him up. But like right now, I think you just keep trying and see if these players will figure it out because you know what? What's the worst that can happen, sir? We could get relegated. It doesn't feel like a relegation season because there are a couple teams really sitting near the bottom. And that would be, you know, more entertainment, but like Ruben Amorim is not going to deviate from what he sees as the way to do it because that's why we hired him in the first place. He has conviction in what he's doing. He believes 100% that his way is the right way. I think there could be something there, but like you need to get behind that because he's not going to waver and be like, well, all right, well, you know, I'll switch it up. I'll do a totally different formation that's different than what I'm 100% behind. So I think this is what you get when you sign Ruben Amorim as your manager. And either he's a burn the boat kind of manager, sir. He's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'll get relegated, then we'll build the squad back. And I don't mind that either, sir. Why not?
But he's the leader of men, and the way he looks, the things he said are like a little extreme. You know, he should be the one fight. Like, if he believes in the system and he knows reinforcement, the cavalry's coming, and he knows that this is going to work out, he'd be on the touchline, coaching them up, figuring this out. Instead, he looks like 1,000-yard stare, like
that
I'm
is
dead man walking.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
This is dead man walking territory. Like, so I throw it to you. Percentage chance, Ruben Amorim. Like, I mean, what would you say on the hot seat? Like, how are you dialing up the oven? Say max temp is 800 degrees when you're cooking a pizza, sir. How hot is the hot seat for Ruben Amorim?
I think it's hot because the seat is always pretty hot as a Manchester United man. You know, they would get you like a soggy California crusted pizza, like a 400. It's hot, but it's not like it's not ripping yet, but it's hot. It's by nature hot because he came into a mess.
So let's do 1 to 10, like 1 to. So you say the hot seat's like a 5 is what you're kind of saying.
It's like a 4.5, 5. Yeah, it's like a mid-level. So it's hot, but it's not that hot yet. What do you think?
I think the seats, the hotness of the seat is dependent the point of view. I think the fans, I think it's a 7.5 from the fans. I think it's a hot.
You think they're that dissatisfied?
I'm getting a lot of comments. It says people like, I'm certain he's not the one. You know, that people are just saying this is
3 months.
They're coming. This you can't play this way in the Premier League. This guy thinks he's that. This like obviously the fact he doesn't have players play this way. There's a lot of context here. I think Ineos, you're probably right. Ineos, he's probably like a 5, but Ineos, the whole ship's burning down because they're worried about the financial situation. Is probably even more dire. So there's layers to this onion.
It's way more dire.
There's layers to the onion, but regardless, hot seats all around. I'm gonna say he's probably I think he's like a 7. We need if you look at the next 5 games, we need results like Everton, Ipswich, Fulham. If you lose to Everton, you lose to Ipswich, and you get bounced out of the FA Cup at home against Fulham, you're gonna have problems. Like I think that is like 9 territory. I think that's if you can't next 4 games. Everton away, Ipswich at home, Fulham at home.
That's like a must-win. Everton.
Yeah, but there's you're on the hot seat if you need to win games to not be fired, and that's where we are. Like he's 4 more games of
that's
this.
Crazy.
I
that's crazy. I guess it's possible, but that would
don't
be
you think it's
fire
possible?
3 months in.
Don't you? But I don't think so. He shouldn't be fired from my perspective. I'm just telling you the way these things go.
He definitely could be. I mean, they fired Dan Ashworth, so it's definitely possible. It's more possible than I want it to be. It's like a distinct possibility, of course, because they've shown their rash. That would be rash. That would be another.
When
rash
do they
decision.
phone down and be like, "Hey, man, we just need you to win"? Like, when is
Bro,
that?
They fired Ashworth to hire Ruben Amorim.
I understand. I think Ineos's plan right now is 110% to back him to the summer, no matter what. I think that's literally, they have to do it because that's a save face like thing. But you and me know this is Manchester United. This isn't any old club. It's going to get heated. If this continues, I just know the temperature in the room is going to get hot. And then people are, by the way, when it gets hot in the room, people start chirping Ineos. So then Ineos is going to be in the kitchen getting burnt, you know? So it becomes this whole, like, it becomes an issue where they're just like, hey, throw him out and then calm everyone down. It's going to get like, I just don't see convincing wins against Everton and Ipswich in our future. And that is saying a lot. And so let us know what you think about the manager, where he is, scale 1 to 10. If 10 is the hottest, which means he's going to be sacked any day now, 1 being no one he's thinking about it. Let us know what you think. Is Amorim on the hot seat? Is it crazy? Do you still believe in him? Or is Ineos on the hot seat? Please let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe to the channel. Only 30% of people who actually view our content subscribe. And we'll see you in the next Manchester United video.